Hey, hello, good morning, guys. Into this recording with Gautam, and guys, today in this level we will be doing binary deployment. So the things we're going to cover today, we're going to cover how to turn a number into binary and trinary, and then we're also going to cover how to deploy him, how to summon him, and all the things you need to be successful in this level. So let's get into it. Okay, guys, so the first thing we need to look at is binary and ternary numbers. The one thing that is really important is that computers communicate through numbers, and mostly all numbers are turned into binary. The computer you're looking at right now, this is just a code display of 001010. It's just lots of zeros and ones. And digital waves, like even if you're listening to music, those are also zeros and ones. As there's a difference between digital waves and acoustic waves. We'll cover that in the next time. But for now, let's learn how to convert a number into binary. Here we have the number 20. And by the root of the word binary, by means two, like by cycle. So now we have 2. So now we have the number 20. So what we're going to do, we're going to divide. 2 divided by 20, that's 10. But we're mostly focusing on the remainder. 2 divided by 20, we have a remainder of 0, we go to 10. 2 divided by 10, we have 0, we go to 5. And this is where it gets kind of confusing. 2 divided by 5, it's 2 and a remainder of 1. 2 divided by 2, 0, but next time you have 1 at the end. So now we're going to have to flip this around. So this turns from 00101 to 10100, as almost all binary numbers end in 0. Okay, so now we have this. Now we have to go to ternary. Here we have the decimal 2 ternary. This time we're going to divide by 3. 3 divided by 101, we have 99, but we have a remainder of 2. 3 divided by 33, that's 11, we have 0. 3 divided by 11, that's 2 with 9. 3 divided by 3, that's 10202. So that's how you turn a number into base 3, or also known as ternary, or base 2, known as binary. All numbers, like normal numbers, are in base 10, but we converted them to base 2 and base 3. So, what does that have to do with the level? We're going to have to deploy troops based on the binary and ternary compositions of the numbers. So, now that we understand what this is, we go to the code. So now we have the friend types. We have the soldier, the archer, and the griffin rider. These are the types that we will have to summon. Then we find the friends, we loop through friends, and now we have this thing called bin num for binary number. It's just random. So if the friend type is paladin, as paladins, we have to convert them into binary, and warlocks are ternary. We divide them by 2. Else we divide them by 3. So now we have the deployment, which is friend.deployment. Okay, and this is kind of tricky. So while the deployment is greater than divide, greater than or equal to. So while the numbers, so we see we still divide until it's less than the number. 20 we divide, 2 we divide, 5 we divide, 10 we divide. So that's what we're trying to do. And then we get the remainder. So deployment divide is A. So then deployment equals deployment minus A. So we take out the remainder, and then we divide the deployment again. So what happens is that we're taking out the deployment and we're inserting a new value of 10100 in the place of the deployment. So then we just basically do bin num equals A plus bin num, which is the remainder. So we have 0. 0 goes into bin num. Then we get 0 again. 0 goes into bin num. 1. 1 goes into bin num. So we take the deployment, subtract the remainder. So now we have the new number 10. We divide, the remainder gets added into this new variable called bin num. Then we have bin num equals deployment plus bin num, which deployment ends up being 1. Now since we have to reverse it, that's what this does. So now we have the while length is bin num is less than 8. Here we see that we have to have 8. If it's less than 8, you just add zeros at the end. And just remember, this is a string value. So now what happens at the end is we do 4k in range of length of bin num. We did this a lot of times in my last videos. We use the range to take from 0 to the length of the bin num, which ends up being 8. Then m is bin num of k. So here dot sum and friend types n. So this is kind of interesting. As we talked about indexing recently, friend types of m. So if this is 0, guess what? 0 ends up being soldier, archer ends up being archer, and 2 ends up being griffin rider. So this is a way we can implement binary and ternary numbers. As instead of going through if going through for I and bin num, if I equals 0, summon soldier, else archer, we can just easily do it like this. So then we command. This is kind of confusing, but we're going to take it step by step. So hero.build, length of hero.build minus 1. So we take hero.build, we take the length of hero.build minus 1. So just remember hero.build is an array. We got that, and as we can see these square brackets, we're indexing right now. We're basically taking hero.build minus 1, which is the last number. So we're taking the last unit. We're going in reverse. That's where we set him to reverse. So then we ask him to move. X is 14 plus k. So for each number, we have to increase the position. So we loop to k, which ends up being 1. You do 6, 14, 6. Yeah, so you do. Oh, I lost 14. If you do 14, yep, you make them start at 14, 6, which is somewhere right here. Then you do 14, 6, then you do 14, 12. And then pose.y is pose.y. So basically what we're doing here is we're increasing the position of x by increments of 6, but we're making the y the position of the friend. So if we have the binary num of 10, which is Velia, we're making sure that the soldiers and archers have the same y position as Velia. Same thing, and with the warlocks, we're trying to put the same thing. So just to sum it up, we're just going to go through this and sum this up really easily, short and sweet. So we take the friend types, we have soldier, archer, and griffin rider. We take them all, and we have an array. Then we loop through friends, we have binary num which is empty. Then we loop through friends array, which, the soldiers, the archers, and the griffin riders haven't been summoned yet, so the friends array only contains the paladins or the warlock. So then we check if it's a paladin, we use the 2 to signify binary. If it's a warlock, we use 3 to signify ternary. And then deployment, we use the friend.deployment, while the deployment is greater than or equal to the divide. So while the deployment number, like 10, is greater than or equal to the divide number, we just basically use this function to say the remainder in, keep updating the deployment, and then get the remainders. Now we have binary num, and just in case, if the binary num ends up being like this, say 5 numbers, we have zeros at the end to make sure that we have a uniform rectangle or a square. Then we loop through them, add the zero to make sure it's a nice rectangular square. Then we have the m equals bin num k, and then we use a clever tactic of using friend.type sum in m, which is basically we're using indexing, which is really important. If you don't know what that is, just watch my previous 10 videos. I talk about indexing a lot. So here the command, we went over this. We basically use indexing to find the last build person. We ask him to move to increase the x increments by k, which is clever, and then we use friend.pose.y to make sure they maintain the same position. So this is it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you still have questions on how to turn numbers to binary and ternary and what bases are, just shoot a comment. I will make a video on that. And yeah, so this is it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. This is Coding with Gautam, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day and enjoy your week.